What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we're back to talk about Forge, and this time we have some positive content to talk about Forge, and this is going to be very exciting. At least I told my entire alliance to do this, what we're going to take a look at in this video, because I think it's just going to have so much value going forward. So in this video we're going to talk about the value of Forge in Alliance Wars and how much of a change it's going to be going forward. Now we have to keep in mind that according to the developers, some people are not sure if it's rumors or not, but the developers themselves said on the Strike Time video that we're going to have some overall rework to the X-Men team like we had with Sinister Six, and hopefully Forge and the other extreme X-Men characters will be part of that. But in this specific video we are going to take a look at Forge in action and see what he's able to provide in Alliance Wars, and if this is a character that you should be using on defense or offense. Like I said, I'm very excited about this. I tell my alliance, like, you guys need to do this, because this guy is going to change the meta so much and it's going to help us quite a lot. So let's take a look at what he does in this video, and as always, if you like the information on this video, make sure you share the video with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button like a boss. Okay, so first off, I complained about it yesterday or 2 days ago, and I still, even with all your feedback and so on, a few people said, oh, but you don't have the full team. It's not about having the full team or not, it's the design of the characters. Like I said, the Extreme X-Men is pretty much a glass cannon type of team, which is very unusual in raids. In the context of raids, where you need characters to be sturdy enough to handle it, this team comes as definitely sturdy. The problem is that the cooldowns are very subjective. You might have cooldowns if you can remove charges from your enemies, but that means whenever they change your enemies, the team is pretty much dead, and that means that for previous raids, especially for new players that are coming through now on Doom and on the first incursion raids, you might not face that many characters with charges, and that's going to be a problem. Then we also have the situation with the cooldowns for Forge, where we usually, when you have big cooldowns like these, it's better for PvP game modes like Arena, Cosmic Crucible, Alliance Wars, and maybe even Tower, even that it's not PvP, but it's a short-term match. One good thing about Forge for raids, and it also comes through not only raids but in all game modes, is his passive, where he's healing the characters and giving barrier to the characters as well. This greatly increases the survivability of those characters, and that means that you want to build your Forge as big as possible in case you want to use him in other game modes, like, once again, Alliance Wars, Cosmic Crucible, Dark Dimension raids. If you want to use Forge everywhere, you need to build him big for sure. And that means you are safe to invest Isolate Blue level 4 on him and Gear Tier 18. Beyond that, Isolate Blue level 5, I'm not sure if it's worth it. Probably is for sure. Striker Isolate definitely. But yeah, so with this said, with this in mind, now that we know that maybe it's not the best raid character ever, let's take a look at him in Alliance Wars and see how much he's able to do and what his team is capable of. Okay, so here we are. We're going to take a look at some of the matches that I find more common and that some people can still be struggling a little bit with. I'm not saying that this team is going to destroy Apocalypse teams or Super Skrull teams or anything like that, but anything under that, they are probably going to be quite fine dealing with it. Okay, so let's take a look at the first match, which is Heroes for Hire. And sometimes we have powerful teams against Heroes for Hire, but you kind of want to use them against other teams. Okay, so we are going to smash with Nightcrawler. It's going to give speed bar to everyone. Then you have Rogue taunting, and Rogue together with Forge is just great. She has tons and tons of buffs, and she is beefy enough to handle with a smack in the face. And then Forge just comes along and saves her day better than Gambit, and unlike this, she goes back to full health and you don't have any problem dealing with her. Okay, so you can even see we are not stunning the right characters or anything like that, but the team just demolishes. They have so many deflects and defense up, evades, death proofs, all those things that even against characters very strong like Shang-Chi, it's not a big deal. And as soon as Cyclops has his ultimate, it's pretty much game over for your enemies. And there you go, another Heroes for Hire counter with the Extreme X-Men. They are so strong that they even bugged out to Colin Wing that she was flying in the sky up here. Oh, look at the damage from Forge. That's actually pretty decent as well. Okay, now we're going to take a look at another very common team, which is Pegasus in Alliance Wars Defense. The AI uses this team pretty decently, and we are punching up a little bit, so I'm gonna stun Kestrel. Is this the best way to play it? Probably not. I think I have done it in a different way, which is stun rescue and then turn rewind Kestrel. One other or the other. It doesn't really matter, let's be honest. So one good thing about Forge is that you can copy and clear the positive effects away if you want with the special, or you can use the ultimate right away and you're good to go. The stun of Rogue, even that they have immunity, no problem. Rogue will clear some of those positive effects away. And then the counterattacks that Forge give to the team completely destroy the enemies, and then the Nightcrawler ultimate is just something else. And here goes Cyclops, and there you go. Oh man, Cyclops is hilarious. And this is without offense up. That's the thing about Cyclops. All the damage that he's doing is without offense up, and it's the only thing that I really think it misses on this team is the fact that they don't have any source of offense up. Now we're going to take a look at some very annoying team. This team always gets winners in Alliance Wars, which is Hero Asgardians with Dormammu. I know you can use Wakanda here, but a lot of people don't want to get up Wakanda, especially because they have so many mystic characters. So you are much better off getting up your mutants. So you want to turn rewind Val, you want to ability block Val. You have to make sure that you have your Rogue as a skirmisher for these, because otherwise she might fail to copy the positive effects. And then you can use the special or the ultimate with the Forge. It doesn't really matter. In this specific scenario, I think I used the special first. And yes, even that we are facing Dormammu, even that Dormammu should be flipping our positive effects into negative effects, we have enough resistance in order to be able to survive that, because Dormammu is stronger, but is usually against the mystic characters. Now, as soon as Cyclops has a turn, he does the ultimate, he removes all the revives from the characters, and you then just demolish this team. This is going to be super helpful going forward in Alliance Wars. Okay, here we go. Extreme X-Men or X-Men versus Infestation, and this is something that I would not recommend punching up, but punching down, there are a lot of 1 million infestations that you could use your Extreme X-Men against. This one is pretty much a punch across, is 1,800,000 versus 1,700,000 plus. So I keep it on the range of punch across, and if you can do this, a punch across, you much better can do it punch down, and if that's the case, like, the team gives you huge value. So one thing here is that Spider-Man Big Time applies blind to Cyclops, but Cyclops can't be blinded, and then he also applies blind to Rogue, but Rogue, she can't be blinded as well. And even that it seems like we are going to lose, we are just fine, because now Forge is going to start healing up the entire team. And we have Trauma, we have Bleeds, but we don't have heal block. So as long as we are on that situation, we are good to go. There is a little bit of RNG at the beginning, but beyond that, it's not a big deal. And once again, as soon as Cyclops takes a turn with his ultimate, it's pretty much game over for your enemies. So as you guys can see, they are able to beat Infestation at over 1.5 million. And like I said, that's going to be very useful for a lot of people. And for the last team that we're going to face, it's going to be versus 1.99 million power new Avengers, yes. And this is very impressive. Once again, if they beat punch across or a little bit punch up, 10% punch up versus new Avengers, that means whenever you're facing one of these teams that is much smaller, like 1.5 million range, it's going to be a lot easier. Of course, you have to take into consideration if you are facing on the reactor or if you are facing on the security. Of course, that's going to change a lot. But if it's not the case, then you are good to go in using the Extreme X-Men with Rogue against any of those teams. So once again, Rogue with a turning wind, Rogue with a big stun, clearing positive effects away and stopping Tigre from taking action is just great. Here we have some heal blocks where the Forge special comes through and clears those heal blocks away. We also have evades that we can extend in order to mess up Tigre and also Mockingbird. And then once again, the retaliation damage and the big damage ultimate from Cyclops is just great. Just make sure that you spam the Gambit special as often as you can, so keep applying speed up on your team. Other thing that it might be a little bit RNG is the passive of Forge. Sometimes he gets the crit chance, sometimes he gets this additional attack with the shoulder cannon. It's not a big deal. I think overall I tried it multiple times and it was pretty consistent, especially when you are punching up against a 2 million power team, right? I think we can definitely get some value from here. So you can see Forge is providing a lot of healing, is providing a lot of barrier, and this is with a 3 yellow stars or 4 yellow stars, 4 red stars Forge, which I think most people will be able to obtain with this event. And now Cyclops died, but there we go, we clean up and it's over. Okay, so as you guys can see, the Extreme X-Men, they are very, very strong in Alliance Wars offense, and it makes sense because when we have kits like these with very long cooldowns, they are better for shorter matches than longer matches. That it's usually what we find in raids and maybe even also in Dark Dimension. But even so, the passive from Forge is very, very impressive. Once again, he's doing 10% barrier plus 5% healing. And if you can keep your characters in the range of the 50% mark and then go 60% and then go 50% again, Forge can get a lot of speed bars. So this is definitely a team that you should be on the lookout to use on Alliance Wars offense rather than defense, because on defense there are easy ways that we can destroy them, which we will probably address in another video. Now, in terms of the teams that they cannot beat, they can beat Secret Defenders with some RNG, but from my experience is Secret Defenders, they win 75% of the time, and it's all based on if your rogue gets turning winded or not. So maybe some variation of this team will be able to beat Secret Defenders with a higher success rate, but I would not recommend it. And then another team that this cannot beat, two of teams they cannot beat, is Sinister Six. They just absolutely shred this team, especially Green Goblin flipping all the positive effects into negative effects. Other team that they cannot beat is Gamma. But beyond those teams, Infestation, New Avengers, as you guys saw, they can easily destroy them. So once again, be on the lookout. And make sure your Extreme X-Men are ready for war. Okay guys, so that's going to be the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, and if you found the video helpful, make sure you share this video with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I'll catch you guys later.